Hello, everyone. Welcome, one and all. We are here with a stream where I don't have any idea what's actually going to happen. This could really go anywhere. Like that's how open-ended it is. Obviously, we heard the news earlier this week that the Oilers don't play until Saturday night when they take on the Leafs. And so I figured to break up the stretch of no content reacting to any games that I would do a bit of an impromptu live stream. We could talk about some of the hottest topics in hockey. Let me just get this face cam up here and hey, hello everyone. Yeah, welcome. I know it's I don't have a set plan on what I want to do. I kind of just want to sit here, casual conversation. We'll talk about hockey. We'll talk about some other stuff. We'll talk about a couple teams. I know I'm not going to be able to make a podcast, which that's probably a bit of a letdown. Not going to be able to make that before the deadline, so let's talk about stuff here because why not? I am wearing my Buffalo Sabres jersey. It's the old school one. I don't know if you can see the name. It's a Thomas Vanek jersey. It's actually crazy. I got this along with an away version of it for I think $70 at a flea market, which they had the fight strap and everything. Like it is a real good jersey. Let's open up the chat here and see what's going on. It's open for business. We'll see what's going on this end as well. You may notice in the background we have commercials and TV playing. I don't have any audio on for it, but I have in the background the Toronto-Ottawa game currently going down. That's 0-0. I might flicker back and forth between that and the Islanders game, which at this moment the score is 1-0 Boston. Yeah, there's been a bit of news today. There's been some stuff coming out over the past couple of days I haven't talked about, so we'll break it all down. I think I will kick off with the hockey talk, just for the purposes of current situation we're in. So, yeah, let's just kick it off. I want to talk about the Buffalo Sabres. I want to talk about the Buffalo Sabres right now. I think that is a good place to start. You know, you want to talk about random, stupid information. That's the Buffalo Sabres in a nutshell this year. Like, good God. You think it couldn't get worse, right? They're on a major losing streak. And then we get the news that, so they fire their head coach last week, and now we find out their interim head coach and interim assistant coach, who were just placed in these roles, like, not even, I think a little over a week ago. They are now self-isolating and unavailable for the game that's currently going on. Kevyn Adams will be on the bench to serve as the head coach. So we're getting the GM head coach situation, which is interesting. And also, because of the situation that we're in, if these guys can't come back, then you're probably stuck with that for a while. I feel so bad for Buffalo Sabres fans. I feel so bad because just when you think things are getting better, they find a way to be worse. Hello, BMAX. Life's been alright. When you're stuck inside an endless paradox known as a pandemic, it's not that interesting, but it's been pretty good. I've obviously been a little bit starved for content just because the Oilers haven't played this week at all. And I'm also terrified for the matchup between Edmonton and Toronto on Saturday night. However, for the most part, life is going pretty fine. It's been... But back to the Buffalo Sabres now. I'm going to try and not get too off topic here, because I am so fascinated by Buffalo. Like, genuinely, how can it get worse? Star player, gone. Head coach, fired. Interim head coach, isolating. Like, I feel bad for the Buffalo Sabres. I really do. Like, I'm wearing this kind of just like in remembrance of a good franchise, which they have not been for a long time. For a very, very long time, it seems. Like, man, if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan out there, it must suck. At least the Oilers found a way to win, right? At least the Oilers put things together somewhat. You can argue how much they've put together. I think they've done pretty well. But man, the Sabres just keep faltering at every single turn. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Get them out of the way because let's face it, they've been the punching bag. I guess next we can talk about, what's his name? The referee that got fired. Tom Peel, if I'm not mistaken, his name is. Now, I didn't catch the full clip, but for context's sake, it was a while back. It was a couple nights ago, and there was a call. And actually, let me actually look up the story so I don't mess it up. Tim Peel, I think it might have been. Yep, it was Tim Peel. Sorry about that. Got the first name wrong there. Alright. He was banned from the NHL, which is shocking, to say the least, for something that was picked up on a hot mic after a penalty was called. Referee Tim, this is from ESPN, by the way. Referee Tim Peel will not work another game in the NHL after getting caught saying he wanted to give the Nashville Predators a penalty in their win over the Detroit Red Wings on Tuesday night. I'm down here now a little bit farther, just talking about what actually happened. With 15 minutes, 4 seconds left in the second period, Predators forward Victor Arvidsson was called for tripping on Red Wings defenseman Jon Merrill. Hold on, we got a chat message. 15 games. Yep, it's 15. Yeah, and they're playing Pittsburgh tonight, which, I mean, to be fair, in the world we're in with the weirdness, it would make sense for them to break the streak without a coach there tonight. Oh, the Penguins are already up 1-0. Oh, man. And the worst part about it is this, right? If this had been like next year, at least you would have gotten Shane Wright. But the Buffalo Sabres are going to have a top draft pick in a year where there is no consensus number one prospect, where the prospect quality is seemed lower in comparison to the year before and the year after, at least in the high up end. I mean, say what you want about next year, but you've got Wright, Savoy, Lambert, and those are just the three I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Like, who is the number one overall pick this year is a discussion I can't give the answer to right now, but like, boy, they are gonna struggle. Back to the Tim Peel incident here. With 15:04 left, Predators forward Victor Arvidsson was called for tripping Red Wings defenseman Jon Merrill in the offensive zone, even though replays showed that Merrill embellished his fall to help draw the call. Peel made the penalty call from around center ice. With 12:42 remaining in the second period, the Nashville broadcast captured audio from Peel saying it wasn't much, but I wanted to get a effing penalty against Nashville early. So obviously, when you're an official and you're supposed to be down the middle, like a fair guy, you don't exactly want to say, yeah, I want to give this team an effing penalty. That's just not something you do. So he's been fired, which, yeah, I mean, it's deserving, and it's honestly stupid that this guy he thought he could get away with it. Yeah, that is, God, like, that is so stupid. Apparently he was retiring this year anyway, so it doesn't fully matter, but, like, how do you do that? Like, why do you do that? You know you have a mic on you. Like, you know that there's microphones around you. You know your voice could be heard saying that, and yet you do say it. Like, it's mind-boggling that he sat there and thought, you know what? Not only am I going to make an interesting call when I'm at center ice, far away from the action, I'm then going to say out loud in front, like with people around me, hey, I wanted to give them a penalty anyways. That makes the penalty call look suspicious, and that gets you fired because you can't do that. You just can't do that. So that's something else that just kind of happened, um, in the NHL. Um, yeah, those are a couple of the big stories I wanted to talk about. Obviously, there's been a couple trades that have taken place. I heard, yeah, the two trades are the 6th round pick going to Buffalo for Jonas Johansson, which honestly, I understand the Avs needed goaltending depth, but I don't understand this move at all. I saw a tweet from a Buffalo reporter, and I heard about it as Ottawa, by the way, just scored on Toronto. Oh boy, there goes Jack Campbell shutout street. I kind of feel bad. He's such a nice person. I feel bad when he gets scored on. Oh, and it was shorthanded. Well then, ooh, that's not good, and that's not good at all. But the 6th round pick for Jonas Johansson. I've heard not good things about Johansson, including a Buffalo reporter saying that he is one of the worst goalies he's ever seen. Reporting, which, mind you, this guy works for the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know if you take it as like an act of disrespect or a compliment when someone that works for the Buffalo Sabres says you're the worst in that craft. And for Buffalo, I mean, yes, you got a 6th round pick, but you also are not good at drafting. You're not good at drafting. So you're probably going to pick a bust with that pick. I mean, obviously, it's a 6th round pick. It's not expected to be good. However, like, there's no reason to get a pick just to pick. Like, keep Jonas Johansson and see if you can get more for him later. I don't know. Point is, I don't understand that trade. And then this one here, Alexander Volkov to the Ducks for Antoine Morand and a 7th. It's a prospect for prospect deal with a conditional 7th-round pick. And the condition is the 2023 7th-round pick will transfer into a 2024 7th-round pick if Columbus receives a 2023 7th-round pick from a previous condition in the Anaheim CBJ trade, which it does not list. So, yeah, wow, like, meaningful, am I right? It's, like, it's a deal. It's a deal. Like, yes, these deals are important because it's kind of like, okay, these are the deals that are going to start stirring that pot. Who's going to be up? Like, that's why those deals are important. Oh, I know another story I wanted to talk about. I got to go back to Twitter for it. The Canadian government has made an announcement that changes everything for multiple different teams. The 7 Canadian teams. It's a very big announcement. Where is it? It's right here. Canadian federal government is poised to approve a shortened 7-day quarantine for players traded from U.S. to Canadian teams before the April 12th deadline. This means that when it, like, gosh, I missed the word. This means that you now have an extra 7 days. It's pretty much what it is. If you're a Canadian team and you want a player on an American team, you can make that trade on the 5th of April, and you will get that player by trade deadline day. That is humongous. Just those 7 extra days will give teams more time. I mean, I was sitting here, and in my video the other day, I said, hey, they only got about a week left. Now that's 2 weeks. Like, that is a massive amount of time in this climate. This gives time for the Oilers to see a bit more. I mean, it kind of sucks when you don't really play, and, leading up to the deadline, you don't play. You don't get to see what the team's like. But yeah, like, I'm losing my thoughts a lot tonight. Oh, I'm seeing bad things about Carter Hart. Man, what's the score of the Philly game? Why are people talking about Carter Hart already? Rangers and Flyers, is that? Oh no, the Rangers are up 3-0 on the Flyers again. Oh no. Oh, Carter Hart. Alright, there's another story to talk about. What do you do if you're the Philadelphia Flyers? Who? That's interesting. All right, thanks for giving me more things to talk about here. Okay, hold on. If the Leafs win tonight, they'll have 44 points, and Edmonton and Winnipeg are both tied for second. Winnipeg plays tomorrow, and I'm rooting for the Flames if they win tomorrow. Yep, that I was not paying attention to that, but yes, I am rooting for the Flames, which I'll never say often, but yeah, like it would be nice if the Flames won that game and just kind of helped us with the Winnipeg problem. Yeah, if the I mean, right now the Leafs aren't winning, so you never say never, right? But really, like, we can talk about, like, okay, if this team beats this team, and I do it all the time as well. We play the Leafs on Saturday night. We play the Leafs on Saturday night. Like, that could do something. Right now, I wish the playoffs would start already. Yeah, because you don't want to watch the inevitable collapse. Like, yeah, like for me, that's the thing, right? Is as the season goes on, it just gets scarier. I'm getting like I'm scared right now. I'm scared right now for what could happen. Because here's the thing, right? The Oilers. The Oilers are a team that have two of the best players in the world. However, what happens, like, I know I'm thinking of the doomsday scenario here. If this team loses Connor McDavid, do they make the playoffs? Like, if we found out Connor McDavid was out for the rest of the season right now, do they make it? Like, that's the thing that scares me about them. And obviously, maybe I'm over saying it there. Like, of course, most teams would probably miss the playoffs if Connor McDavid went down for them. But, like, this team would be so screwed without him. No offense to Leon, but this team would be so screwed if they did not have Connor McDavid on it. That's what we got to remember. And I am interested. And you know what? BMax? Me and you were having a discussion about this in the comment section for the video I made the other day, right? Or yesterday, sorry, on trades. And you had on your list Jake DeBrusk and Rickard Rakell. And we had a conversation about it. And I would love to get Rickard. By the way, I love Jake DeBrusk. I think he could have a lot of potential. Put him beside a guy like McDavid. Holy crap. The thing I'm worried about with the Oilers though, and that's kind of why I went for the approach that I did with my trades. I don't think the organization is comfortable with trading assets at this moment because look at how it blowed up last year. Obviously, we didn't see it coming, but like I don't know if there's an internal fear now, but like from what I'm hearing, the Oilers are just trying to get like a minor addition. They're not trying to make a major addition here. I was reading this. I follow I don't know if to any Oilers fans out there. There is a Twitter account, Oilers News and Updates, at Oilers Access. I follow them on Twitter, and he tweeted out this from Frank Saravelli. Per Frank Saravelli on Insider Trading, the Oilers have their eye on a right shot center who can kill penalties and have a high face-off percentage. Saravelli suggests Luke Glendening, Brandon Sutter, and Derek Ryan as options. The Oilers are looking to trade a fourth for one of them. Like that right there, even if we're not talking about like those players specifically, that kind of shows what I think their mindset is. It's that, oh boy, we're going to spend not a lot of assets. I hope, I really do hope Jake DeBrusk would be fun. Rickard Rakell would be great. I don't know if they pull the trigger, though. I think it would be a mistake to pull the trigger, to not pull the trigger, but I don't know. I don't know what they do. I mean, this extra week does have an impact on what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. My God, this is going to get interesting. Like, this is going to be the most interesting trade deadline, I think. Because as someone who has stayed home, no joke, for the last 2 years of the trade deadline, I've stayed home to watch the footage, to watch it all play out. I watched the Mark Stone trade take place. I took a day off school just to watch that. And then last year, I also took the day off school. I'm interested to see how it plays out because who's going to be buyers, who's going to be sellers seems to change on a daily basis now, which is how the schedule is. Like, oh, this team's went from 4th to 5th. They're going from buying to selling. Like, it's such a weird climate. So weird. So weird. Yeah, I'm taking a minute here just because right now there is a lot of stuff going on with a guy with Carter Hart right now. And it's getting interesting because Carter Hart apparently just like forgot how to be a goalie, I guess, or something. Something bad. I'm trying to find it. But like, yeah. Yeah. Like, it's kind of crazy. People have been talking about like, oh, are Philadelphia buyers? I don't see it now. Like, the team has not played well. They are a mediocre team play-wise at best right now. And now your franchise goalie has faltered. And we can make an argument on why he faltered. You can certainly say it's because he was played too young. But, like, man. I don't know what to think. Like, good God. All right. Let's see. Let's do a quick check-in on what's going on all around the NHL. Analysts on Sportsnet are saying analyst things. All right, here are some of the scores that are down right now. All 6 of these games, if I'm not mistaken, are at the end of the first period. We've got Boston 2-0 over the Islanders, the Rangers 3-0 over the Flyers, Devils and Capitals tied at 1. 0-0 in Columbus, Carolina. 1-0 for Ottawa over Toronto, and 1-0 for Pittsburgh over Buffalo. Right now, the interesting story to me is Carter Hart, and I think it kind of has to be Carter Hart because, like I said, man, he's had not a good past couple games. Let me actually get the stats. Let me get his game log up. Because, my God, it does not look so pretty right now. Holland would be able to make a deal, but you're right, the assets aren't there, and I get cap space is an issue. But everyone wants to see this team go on a playoff run. You know how much, I would love it if this team was just like, screw it, first round, like in a way, yeah, it's hard. Obviously, I want to see this team go on a run though, because like, other than 2017, what have they done? Like, in 2017, they won a round, and everyone was like, oh my God, Peter Chiarelli, like, his move somehow worked out, Milan Lucic, and all that, which, oh God, I remember, man, when Milan Lucic was a good idea. But, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you'd love to see them make the move, but feasibly, how do they do it? Which is why I really like the idea of, obviously, because you have to think about, okay, what tier of player can we get with the assets we have? Okay, Jake DeBrusk and Rickard Rakell would be sick. Are they too expensive? If they are, you've got to go down to that second class. I don't know why, but Ryan Dzingel's still sticking out for me. And I know that might not be the popular pick, but there's just something about Ryan Dzingel for me that screams that it could be a fit. I'll also stand by my word that if this team can get Troy Terry from Anaheim, because he's still rumored to be a possible trade piece, if they could somehow get him, I'd love that too. That's kind of that's the approach I want the Oilers to kind of take. But if they go out there and get a DeBrusk, if they go out there and get a Rakell, you're not going to see me complain. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but you're not going to see me complain. Because, like, realistically, I'm going to throw this out as a question. You're Ken Holland. What package are you offering for Jake DeBrusk? Because you've got to make cap even out, and then you've also got to make enough value for them to take it. Like, what is Jake DeBrusk's value? And that's kind of where I'm at. Because if let's say it's like a second, right? Yes, it sucks to trade away another second. However, A, the Oilers have been horrific with second-round picks in the past. B, Phil Berglund was the one I was thinking of. He was a second round pick in 2016, I think it was. So like what does the return look like? I'm actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on Cap Friendly. First thing I'm gonna do is see if anybody has made a trade involving one of these guys going to Edmonton. And then I might even try and make my own trade. Let's see here. Why not? Alright, here's a trade. Oh, no. That was a joke trade. First one I clicked on was an absolute joke trade. Okay. Everyone's throwing, like, by the way, one thing I hate, a lot of people are throwing around, like, oh, Taylor Hall to Edmonton, baby. Let's do it. Please, for the love of God, no. Don't do that, please. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I heard the Blackhawks might take a big contract on, but who knows if the Oilers want to trade Neal's contract to a team that already lost a lot of players in injury. So, yeah, that was something I was thinking about when making my trade video, is I was going to talk about Chicago's cap space, because for those who don't know, God, Chicago has all the cap space, because they have, I think, half their team on LTIR right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let's actually look at it. But they have tons of people on LTIR. Like, Chicago, Jonathan Toews, Brent Seabrook, Andrew Shaw, Zach Smith, Kirby Dach, and Alexander Nylander are all on LTIR. Like, the amount of cap that they have is outrageous. So, I do think there is a possibility that, you know, they might take on a big contract. I wonder what one they would take on, though, because James Neal is the obvious one where it's like, okay, this is probably the guy that should go. I don't know if Chicago would want to take on a guy with that much term. That's the only thing I'm thinking about, because we're going to be in a flat cap world for a few years, and so if Chicago are taking on James Neal contract, they're committing to that for those few years. You know, I know he's played a lot of games this year. The contract I would ship off would be Chris Russell. That might be a weird one, especially considering the fact that there has been injuries. However, Chris Russell this year makes $4 million, and next year he makes 1.25. If you trade him to Chicago, not only do you clear up the $4 million this year, but I think they're also more likely to take that, and you obviously throw in a sweetener as well. I think there would be a more likelihood of taking that, because it would be a situation where it's like, oh, okay, so we're paying him $4 million this year, but then that drops down next, so sure. Plus, they could use a defenseman. I think they could use a defenseman anyways. It probably wouldn't hurt them to take on a defender. So, you know, I think if we could work out a deal with the Blackhawks for them to take on a contract, that would be so helpful. Any little bit, man. Any little bit. Even I know that we've used him on the power play. Alex Chiasson. Like, if we can make a deal with the Blackhawks where one of Neal, Russell, and Chiasson can go to Chicago along with an asset, and then we just get nothing back in return, that gives us enough cap flexibility to go out there and do something crazy. Like imagine if we could somehow ship off Chris Russell, and in exchange we could package like a third-round pick next year with Chris Russell, send him off to Chicago. And then you do that, and then you'd have enough money to get Jake DeBrusk. Like, that would be the dream. Or Rickard Rakell. One of those two. Yeah, so let me, you know what, I'm gonna go into an armchair GM, and I'm just gonna do this on my own, and then I'm gonna show it. And then I think after we're done talking about Edmonton for a bit, I'm going to go on to what I think about the rest of the league at the moment, because that is something else I want to do. That would be a good idea. That would be an intention for me anyway, so I think I am going to do that at some point in the next bit. Let me just, do that and then hit continue. So you're the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to throw Chris Russell into the trade. I'm going to tack on my... Boy, yeah, the Oilers picks are not strong this year. They got their first, they have a fourth, they have a sixth, they have Pittsburgh sixth, and they have a seventh. They have their picks next year and the year after. So I'll say a 2023 third with Chris Russell. And then the Blackhawks can just be like, okay, here's like a 6th round pick next year or something like that. I don't know. I'll just throw that trade together to make this work. So with that, Oscar Klefbom and Cuckoo on LTIR. Let's say you get James Neal up there. You gotta put James Neal up there. That leaves you with 3.74, and Jake DeBrusk makes, I think, a hair under that. 3.675. So you're just there, and then you're probably also going to have... You can probably also send a contract back. So, I think, if you're doing a deal for Jake DeBrusk... Like... You have to think about what the Bruins want back because they are a good team. What would they want? That's the question. I don't know what they would want. Personally, I can't think of it. Because Jake DeBrusk is one of those weird players where it's like, you know he's good, but does his value represent how good of a player he is? I'm paying attention to this Florida game as well, right? This Philadelphia-New York game right now. Oh, no! Oh, no! And the Rangers just scored on Carter Hart again. The Rangers have 4 goals on 9 shots. Who stole Carter Hart? Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think we can take Philadelphia officially out of the Matthias Ekholm sweepstakes. I think we can officially do that. Alright, I think the mock trade is here. Chris Russell, and a 2023 third-round pick for Lucas Wallmark and a 6th. Yeah, that would be the type of cap-clearing deal I think that would be good. Because, and wow, actually, that would be a really good deal. If we could get that back, that'd be a really good deal because I've heard solid things about Lucas Wallmark. You also get another pick this year, and you move up, and you also get rid of that $4 million in cap. Then that leaves you with the 3 point whatever million, and then you can go from there. What do you get? What do you give up for Jake DeBrusk? I don't know, but that's that. I like that trade. I do like that trade with Chicago. Philadelphia are 15, 12, and 4. And if they lose tonight, which it's looking like they're on track to, they end up tying with the Rangers. And unless they can start scoring goals now, and if they lose them, but if they can score goals, then they're screwed. Like, they're one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to goals allowed. The Philadelphia Flyers, and I don't even know if that counts tonight's game, have allowed as many goals as the Buffalo Sabres. Like, oh my God, that's so bad. How did you manage that one? Whew. Boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Like, I think that does take them out of the buyer's department. I'm going to go back to this mock trade and see if I can make something work. I'm actually going to edit that Blackhawks trade I made. Because now that I look at that trade, I really like the deal that was just proposed in chat. Thank you to BMAX. So I'm actually going to make that trade reality on my cap friendly here. So let's go Boston. Let's go Chicago, let's go Lucas Wallmark. There he is. Yeah, like he's a nice depth forward, I'd say. He could be good for the bottom six. Submit. Perfect. Okay. So that's through, and then we're left with about 2.764. So if you move a couple things around, you can probably make that work. Like, you move James Neal to the taxi squad, and that clears up about $1 million. And then Leon, you move you here. Just like that. And Kyle Turris is also in La La Land right now, I call it. I don't know if... Is he on LTIR? Where is Kyle Turris? I know he's on the COVID list. I know that much. I don't know much more. Edmonton are the 5th highest cap team in the league right now. Oh, wow. Ottawa has Philip Gustafson in it. I just realized that. So, Kyle Turris is just listed as non-roster. I don't know if his cap is counting. I think it is. James Neal's currently on the taxi squad, though. So, that's where I will make sure he is. Yep. And then from there, then you got that Jake. Then you have, like that. This is where I'm getting stuck. Like, what does the team pay for him? That's where it's going to be hard for the Oilers, is I don't know what they have that they can give up while keeping franchise credibility. Not that's an over-exaggeration, and that came out wrong. But, you know, like, I don't know what they can give up without draining the pool that they're currently in. The pool is not that deep to begin with, and I don't know what they can give up without making the pool non-existent. I mean, I imagine they'll find a way. I mean... Oh, I just saw the trade appear. A mock trade. Edmonton Journal, Bruce McCurdy. Alright. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to put that on a checklist. I'm going to write a checklist right now. I think I have a notes app or something on my computer. Sticky notes, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Just move this here. Oh, but I guess it just went down. Okay, I'll make sure to remember that, because I am interested to see what the idea would be. Because like I said, I have no idea. I'm sorry for the noises in the background. I don't know if you're hearing them. I think my family members are awoken at the moment. Yeah, like... Alright, I'm gonna move on to the rest of the league here for a minute. I'm gonna move on and talk about what I think is gonna happen with some other teams at the deadline. I want to talk about who I think is gonna be a buyer. I want to talk about who I think is gonna be a seller, because it's changing at the minute right now. But I have a good idea about what I think might end up happening. So the trade, it's obviously an interesting trade deadline this year. I'm gonna pull up at the TSN trade bait board. I don't know. I think it might have been. It should be updated for this week. Trade bait, beautiful. They put it right here on the home page. No, it still has March 14th, but it's still accurate enough. So when looking at the standings, when looking at who is going to be interested in buying, I'm going to start in the North Division, and I'm just going to break down all these teams. Let's start with Ottawa. The Senators have not been good this year. I don't think they've been helped by the fact that they're in the North Division. I think they would have been better if they were in the Atlantic. But no, they're here in the North, and that just means they're getting rained on by everyone else. I see them trying to sell a bit, because they do have a couple one-year deals. When you look at the trade bait board alone, Ryan Dezingel's on there. I think that there would be a sucker out there willing to take on the contract of Eric Goodbranson, take him on, just because for some reason GMs love him. Oh, back to the Edmonton thing for a second. I think his mock trade was Kassian and Caleb Jones for DeBrusk in a second. If they could pull that off, I'd love that deal. I would love that deal, because I like Zach Kassian. I've liked him a lot more since he's came back. He is making $3.2 million for a while. And also, can we just imagine for a second, Zach Kassian in Boston? Can we just take a step back and think about that? Zach Kassian as a Boston Bruin. It's a perfect fit. Caleb Jones, that would help out Boston as well, because they do need the defenseman. And then Edmonton would acquire Jake DeBrusk in a second. Getting a second back for this year would be awesome. And then Jake DeBrusk would be the main piece. And then you also wouldn't have to make that Chicago deal to get rid of Russell's cap hit. So, I mean, I don't know how interested Boston would be in it. I'm interested in it, and I think it might be a good deal. Going back to the league now, talking about what I think the other teams might be looking at doing. So I was saying Ottawa, I think, is going to be a seller. Calgary. Boy, what do you do if you're the Flames, right? Like, you just brought in Daryl Suttler, and you haven't been on the worst streak lately, but you have only won one in your last 5 games. Like, that's not good enough for a team to try and make the playoffs in this division. That's just not. They're 15-16-3. They just lost to Ottawa last night and the night before, and then they lost to Toronto the Saturday before. And then they obviously lost to Edmonton a while back. And those were the last 5 games. They also beat Toronto at one point in there as well. Like, I don't know. I don't think Calgary can buy and say it's a smart idea. They have to sell. I think they have to sell if you're the Calgary Flames. Or if not sell, you can't buy at most. I mean, there are a couple players on that team that are interesting. I think if you threw out there that you were willing to trade Derek Ryan and retain a bit of cap, I think you'd find a guy to do it. Josh Levo is a guy who I think somebody out there looking for a cheap depth piece would buy on as well. So if they were looking to sell, maybe those are 2 guys that they trade away. Maybe even Brett Ritchie, because he's looked good, but I don't think that that's really going to be a major thing worth doing. I mean, I think that Calgary probably just sits it out. I'm going to be shocked if they buy. They also have Sam Bennett, who's like eternally in trade talks. So who knows? Vancouver are also interesting. They are also very interesting. Like, they just lost 2 games to Winnipeg back-to-back. 3rd in the division. It's not like it's a faraway place. I think they could still make it. But then again, you look at Montreal, who have 2 more points than them in 6 less games. It's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It would be tricky. Flames are probably going to sell Bennett and Gaudreau. I expect Bennett to go. I would love to see a Gaudreau trade, but Gaudreau is the guy I think that would come out of left field and just be like, you know what, yeah, he's going to get dealt. I think that would definitely be the out of left field thing to see. And I think that I would love it just because Flames fans would be like, no, why? I would love to see it. I don't know if it happens though. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. And I also think there is a higher chance of it now than there was before, even when they were struggling even more, just because I don't know how much of a Daryl Sittler guy this guy is. And, sorry, Daryl Sutter. Sittler, why am I confusing that? Daryl Sutter. I don't know how much of a guy he is to Daryl Sutter. I don't know how good of a player he is, because he clearly is not the best fit in the scheme. So, like, interesting to see. Vancouver, they should sell their UFAs. I'm going to say it. They just should. I don't know if they will or not. I think it would be a real Jim Benning move not to sell. I mean, I'm selling if I'm them. If I'm them, goodbye to Pearson. If I'm them, I'm trying to get rid of Sutter. Like, if I'm Vancouver, I'm trying to sell UFAs just because I don't think that they're good, that this team's good enough to make it. Then we get to Montreal, who are 14-8-9, which, when you look across, other than Dallas, who are 10-11-8, has to be the most outrageous line that there is out there when it comes to wins, losses, and OT losses. Montreal, I don't think they buy. I don't think that they're a good enough team to buy, and I don't think that they would want to buy. I think also this COVID outbreak does change a lot of things for them going forward. I see Montreal as a team that's going to stand pat at the deadline. I don't think that they're going to buy, but I don't think they're going to sell. They might make a minor move, but I think minor move at most. I've talked about Edmonton in lengths. I think that they are going to make a trade. I don't know how major of one. I'd love to see them make a major trade, but I'm not going to be shocked if they don't. Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg are... will Winnipeg buy? That's the big question. Will Winnipeg buy? Because they are a good team. And right now, they are neck and neck with the Oilers when it comes to who's going to be in second place. I think they're a good enough team to the point where it's like, you know what, they will. But we're going to have to see, you know, like, I think it's going to be a bit of a waiting game when it comes to the Winnipeg Jets. I think they will try. I think they're going to be aggressive, but I don't know if they're going to come up with something. Like, Ekholm would be their dream, right? Wouldn't Ekholm be their dream? A defenseman would probably be what they're going for, because they do need to shore that up. Because I will say it, their defense has been interesting. And then Toronto. I know a lot of people are saying Toronto's going to buy. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Toronto are going to make a move at the deadline. I really don't. I also agree Montreal won't make a splash. Yeah, Montreal aren't in the spot for it, you know? They just aren't in the place where they can... I don't think that they're in a comfortable enough position to say, okay, you know what? We're going to go out there and make an ad. Back to Toronto, like, yes, it makes sense for them to buy. They are a good team, but they could still use a couple pieces. The reason I don't think they're going to make the move, though, is because if they were going to make it, I think that they would have made it before. If they were going to make the move, I think they would have genuinely made it during the break. Like, obviously, anything can happen, but think about it. You make a trade the day after that Ottawa Sunday game, a while back, on the 14th. You play 2 games in between then and the 25th. If you're going to do something, you should have done it then. Which is why I don't think they're going to make the move. I think that they're going to stand pat with what they got. Everyone's talking, I mean, and plus, with them, they could really go for anything as well. That's the crazy thing about Toronto. Okay, do you want to go with a goalie? You can do that because Freddie's not being good enough. You want to go with a defenseman? You could shore that up a bit because if one of your guys goes down, you're kind of screwed. Top 6 forward? Maybe. Like, they could go any route. I don't know what one they're going to go, though, if they do go a route. I mean, right now they're losing to Ottawa, so I don't know if exactly Dubas would be happy with making the move, but yeah. Also, the goalie in net for the Sanders right now, I missed pointing this out from the game, is Anton Forsberg. He's wearing blue pads. Winnipeg would need to add a D-man because they lost all their best defensemen of Trouba, Byfuglien, Myers, and Chariot. Yep. Yeah, they did. They did. They do need a D-man. Like, they do. And, boy, in hindsight, like, here's the thing, though, right? Those 4 names you list, obviously, key parts of the team. Like, I look at a couple of them, though, and think, man, with the contracts they're currently on, maybe that was for the better. I mean, yes, Jacob Trouba was good, but for Winnipeg, would they have paid him $8 million? With Myers, would they have paid him $6 million? I mean, we can argue about it all we want. Yes, they need to add a D-man because they've let all their best defensemen go. On the other hand, though, you look at some of their contracts and you think, man, maybe they dodged a bullet with that. And I think people are more talking about the Myers contract being bad. Trouba might be a bad contract down the line. Toronto lost 2 players on waivers, and now they think they're going to look at a player to add, like Mikael Granlund. I think that they will. I think that they could add a player. The only reason I say I don't know if they will is simply because I think if they were going to make a move, they would have made it during their break. That's the one thing I'm thinking about. I'm confused as to why they didn't. I mean, they're never a team to follow the rules. They're never a team to follow the conventional hockey rules set. It's just, to me, in this situation, I thought it would have been logistical for them to say, you know what, sure, make the move then or not make the move. Mikael Granlund is a guy I think that they would add. I wouldn't be shocked if they went for Haula either, just because he's left-handed. And I think they're looking for a guy that can play in the top 6. And if they brought in a guy like Granlund or Haula, that would be the guy to play in the top 6. Very interesting to see. B-Max is all over it tonight. He is all over it tonight when it comes to just giving me all the facts. I'm going to move on to the Mass Mutual East Division. The Mass Mutual East Division, because this is one where we have a lot of interesting stories. We really do. We'll start at the bottom again. Buffalo. I talked about them off the top. I'll talk about them briefly here again. They have to sell. You can't buy. Which, by the way, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but remember last year when they, trade away Dominic Cahoon? Sorry, they traded Connor Sheary for, Dominic Cahoon, and they were selling players off, and then they went out there and spent a late-round pick on Wayne Simmons because they thought that he could help them win. Remember when Buffalo bought last year when they were a bad team, thinking that they could win? In hindsight, it's just hilarious. It just is. So yeah, I think Buffalo sells this year. I don't think that they can even think about... they have to sell. I don't know who takes on Taylor Hall. I think someone will. They have a couple of the guys there I think that somebody would be willing to take on. Brandon Montour is a name that's going to be up there. I mean, on this list, which is from March 14th because they haven't updated it yet, from TSN's list, Brandon Montour is 15, Taylor Hall is 4, and Colin Miller is 20. I don't know who goes for Colin Miller. When it comes to Taylor Hall, because he's one of the bigger names out there, I don't know who goes for him. I don't. I could see a team that needs a scoring winger would be the one to go for him, obviously. Do the Leafs go for him? I don't think they do. Islanders? Maybe. There's a couple teams out there that could go for him, but I don't know which ones. Because I think that it's just, with that cap hit, along with just the player itself, I don't know who goes for it. New Jersey. Now, with them, the big question is going to be about Kyle Palmieri. He's the guy out there that's is he going to get dealt or not? I don't think the Devils do anything. I don't think that they do. Do you... here's a good question. Do you think this is Jack Eichel's last few days in a Sabres jersey or last season? Oh, boy. So this is the golden question. New Jersey, you can wait a minute while I talk about Jack Eichel. Here's the thing. So with Jack Eichel, right? I think he's done. I think he's fed up. I mean, listen. You just look at the situation. Most players would have gotten fed up last year or the year before. Jack Eichel has stayed through this. And he has given the Sabres every chance to improve this team, and they haven't. The more the days go on, the more his name gets out there. And genuinely, if you told me that the game he last played in was his last game in a Sabres jersey, I'm not going to be shocked. Because the thing with Jack Eichel is that I don't think he wants to be there anymore. I think that's what the big thing is. I don't think that Jack Eichel wants to be on the Buffalo Sabres anymore. And I think that Jack Eichel is going to get dealt over the summer. That's what I think. I'm not going to be shocked if he doesn't. I'm going to say that he does. I think he does get dealt. I think right now you look at suitors. New York is probably the team that's going to get him. The Rangers just have all the assets in the world. I could see a deal built around Kaapo Kakko, one other prospect, and a first-round pick. But then again, you also get to the argument of, well, with everything that's happened, do you get a massive return back for Jack Eichel? I don't know if you do. Boy, I don't know. I don't know if you do. But I do not think Jack Eichel will be in a Buffalo Sabres uniform that much longer. As a matter of fact, I think that injury he got takes him out for the rest of the year. He may not be in a Sabres uniform ever again. Which, boy, would that suck if you're the Buffalo Sabres, wouldn't it? Dude, my dad can't stop talking about Taylor Hall because he wants him back, like, in the 2010 days. He loves Hall, but I hate Hall. What's the big deal? Taylor Hall. I don't know. I recognize he's good, but I don't want him back, really. I don't want Taylor Hall back. I just don't. He had it, when you look at Taylor Hall, he had that one really good year, and then he fell off. I don't want Taylor Hall back, and I think that the Oilers would make a mistake in trying to buy him, so I'm going to go with the camp of no Taylor Hall in Edmonton. That's kind of what I'm on. But I think he's going to get flipped, and I think a team might regret paying for it. I don't know. Taylor Hall, you know how every year we have these moves at the deadline where it's like, oh my god, this guy's going to do so well in this team, and then they end up flopping, and then that team loses in the first round? Whatever team Taylor Hall's going to is going to have that story. I just can feel it. I think he's going to get dealt, but I can just feel it, that's going to happen. So with New Jersey, I think I mentioned Kyle Palmieri's the big one, and I don't think that he's going to get moved. I think he's going to stay. I think they're going to work out an extension there. Just from how I'm feeling, or he's going to walk. I don't think that they're going to trade him though. New York, I think the Rangers should probably try and sell a couple things. The big name, like for them, right? What do they sell is the big question. They don't really got a piece to sell. I just think that they should. I really don't think they're going to do anything. But if they're going to do something, they should sell. Philadelphia is a team we're following right now because it's currently 6-2 for the Rangers. What the hell are you doing, Philadelphia? Philadelphia have not been a good hockey team in a while. Holy God, have they been bad. They have not been good. I don't think you can buy if you're them. You don't buy if you're them, actually. I don't know if they sell, but they can't buy. You can't buy if you're the Flyers right now. You're getting blown out 6-2 by the Rangers. Is poor Carter Hart still in net? Is he still in net for them? The Rangers have had 15 shots and they've scored 6 goals. Carter Hart allowed 5 goals on 12 shots. He finishes the game with a .583 save percentage. Do they have tonight's game in there? So far, oh my god. He's played 21 games and has an .875. Why? How? Zibanejad hat trick. Zibanejad is the funniest player in this league. He just scores everything in bunches. And by the way, not only has Mika Zibanejad scored a hat trick, all 3 of his goals, what the, oh my god. That's insane. It was a natural hat trick. I think that's what it was, because he scored 3 goals in a row, 1 in the first, 2 in the second. All 3 of them were on the power play. All 3 of them were assisted by Ryan Strome and Adam Fox. Carter Hart doesn't have a heart in the game. Yeah, he is not doing well. And that .825 save percentage I read off does not factor in tonight's game. Like, I don't know if Carter Hart is a situation where he's just not good anymore, or if it's a situation where, listen, I know I know this is his 3rd year in the league, but your start can still define your career, and maybe this is a situation where he just wasn't given enough seasoning, and now he's in his 3rd year and he's struggling. As the Leafs have actually scored a goal in a hockey game. Oh my goodness, you beat. Can we just get a clap for the fact that the Leafs finally scored on Anton Forsberg? Anton Forsberg, baby. They finally got a goal. It took them nearly 35 minutes, but they got one. They got one, ladies and gentlemen. They got one. But yeah, wow. That Mika Zibanejad hat trick is just stupid weird. It's just weird. By the way, Zibanejad also has 2 assists in this game. It's wild. Adam Fox has 4 points. Ryan Strome has 4 points as well. One of them being goals. How? Like, why? Oh my goodness. Alright. Back to the trade talk. Philadelphia, as I'm talking about there, should not buy. As a matter of fact, maybe a sell if you're them. I don't know who they have expiring. I don't know, but you can't buy if you're Philadelphia. You cannot buy if you are the Philadelphia Flyers. You buy, and it's going to be a mistake. Boston are a team that I think is going to try and make a deal. I think they are going to trade Jake DeBrusk somewhere. And I also think that they're going to add. They're going to sell, but in the process, they're also going to try and add a piece to help them be better. That's plain and simple what I think. I think Pittsburgh are going to stand pat. I don't think that they're going to do anything. I think they're still trying to figure things out with new management there. They're playing great hockey right now. I don't think that they're going to try and do anything to disrupt that. I think they're just going to kind of go with the flow. I could see Washington making a minor move, but I don't know if I see them making a major one. And then you get to the Islanders, and it's like, well, they are a good team. Maybe they add a forward. Maybe they add a defender. Who knows? I think the Islanders are going to make a deal, though. I think the Islanders are going to make a pretty impactful deal. So, yeah, that's the East Division. I mean, couple sellers, couple buyers, and a couple stand pats. It's really the most stereotypical you can get. Let's go back to the chat here for a second. I think multiple. Boston lost both Krug and Chara. Yeah, so I think that they could add a left-hand defenseman. I think that that could be a thing. I mean, the obvious one's Mattias Ekholm, right? I think that they are in on Mattias Ekholm, and that's what I think about when I say they're going to buy. I think that they are going to get they're going to trade DeBrusk, and then they're also going to go ahead and buy on a guy like Mattias Ekholm. I think it just makes sense for them to do that. Just checking out the highlight here for a minute. Anton Forsberg is doing some good work in net for Ottawa. I don't know if that's just Toronto can't beat him, or it's just Anton Forsberg deciding, hey, you know what, I'm going to be a really good goalie today. Islanders might go after Kyle Palmieri. If the Devils want to trade Palmieri, I think the Islanders could be in on him. I think the Islanders are in on someone this trade deadline forward-wise. It may be Taylor Hall. I've seen his name circle around. Also in relation to the Islanders, I think Kyle Palmieri could easily go to the Islanders. I think he would actually fit in really well with the type of hockey the Islanders like to play, adding him to the forward core. And plus, their team would just be even better with him on that forward core. Like, I can't... Obviously, they lost Anders Lee for the year, which sucks. You lost your captain for the year. But... yeah, like, I could see Kyle Palmieri as... oh, Jack Campbell makes the save. Kyle Palmieri is... I could see him going to the Islanders. I'm going to take a minute here. I haven't had a water drink in a while. My throat is dying. My throat has been just killing me all week long. I haven't been able to talk. Hall or Palmieri are my guesses. Yeah, like... That's what I'm thinking right now. It's gonna be it's either gonna be Taylor Hall or Kyle Palmieri to the Islanders. I think that they should add a winger, and I think that I personally think that the better fit for them is Palmieri, and they know what's up with both Palmieri and Hall. It's kind of public. I think that if they can't get Palmieri and the Devils say we're gonna keep him, Taylor Hall's the guy you go to. I think one of them will end up on the Islanders though. But then again, this is the NHL. I mean, did anyone anyone could just immediately show up at the last minute. Like, my favorite example of it is, who expected Vegas to be in on Robin Lehner last year until it happened? Like, that was a bit of a shocker, right? Like, anything can happen. Moving on to the Discover Central Division, the Detroit Red Wings are at the bottom of that division, unshockingly. Yeah, Bobby Ryan's gone. I hope no Red Wings fans are too attached to Bobby Ryan. I don't think there's a way he doesn't get dealt at the deadline. I've heard Toronto could be in on him. I've heard those words fluttering around. I think that could be an interesting fit. I think Bobby Ryan's definitely gone. I think they're going to be able to get something good back for Luke Glendening, so I expect him to get traded. I expect them to make a lot of sales at the deadline. I expect them to make a lot of moves that are going to be interesting to say the least. Dallas are an interesting one. They just went to the Cup final. However, they are now 10-11-8 with 29 games left. With 29 games in. They've been holding on because it's been like, okay, they had that delayed start to the year. Let's see what happens. They're 1-2-2 in their last 5, and they have not played the best all year. I don't think they sell. I don't think they do sell. I think that they will just stand pat. I think that's what they're going to do. They'll just ride it out and see, okay, if we make it, we make it, and if we don't, we don't. Nashville. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I get to Nashville, let me get to the chat message. You know what I was going to say? Bobby Ryan coming to Toronto is the perfect solution. Yeah, like, for me, I think that Bobby Ryan is a good fit in Toronto. I do think Bobby Ryan would be a great fit in Toronto. I think he could, because he's a guy that can be pretty versatile for them. You know, they can put him on that second line left wing if they want to. They can put him up on I guess not even left wing. They don't really have... they don't really have wings in Toronto. It's just kind of we throw these three people out there and see what happens. But I could see that. I think Toronto have to get a forward at the deadline, though. Like, I think that they do have to add a forward at the deadline. Stars should do nothing and keep it going. That's I think what they're gonna do. Because think about it, like, you're Dallas. Yes, you're not doing well, but who are you gonna sell? Who is there to trade that you're like, you know what? Next year, when we want to try and go for this again and see what happens, we're not gonna need them. Who is there that they are not gonna need that's gonna get them something? There's not really anyone on that team. Like, I don't know. Maybe they sell a fourth liner for a 6th round pick. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. They could that's the most I see them doing. Nashville. Now, a lot of people were surprised to see Nashville fall off. I'm just gonna point this out, and I'm gonna gloat anytime someone talks about Nashville being bad. Over the summer, I made a video. I'm actually gonna pull it up so I can look at the title of it, because I forget what the name of it is. I made a video on the Nashville Predators. I did it back when I had my desk on the other side of my room, and I'm gonna go look at it right now. I'm gonna have to search it up. I'm gonna have to do a quick search here on my channel. Nashville. What is the future for the Nashville Predators? I posted on September 22nd, 2020. And in that video, I said that at some point over the next 2 years, this team is not just going to fall off. They're going to not be a good team. You look at their age, you look at the players that they got, their contract situation, they're going to fall off. I was right sooner than I thought. The Nashville Predators this year are not a good team. They are just not. And it does look like they are going to be the fire sale this year. My prediction is that they are going to sell more than any other team. They are going to be the biggest sellers this year. They have so many pieces that they can sell. Mattias Ekholm is a guy who I think that they are going to... I think might even be an understatement. I believe that Mattias Ekholm will not be a Predator. I think we're looking at Boston. I think that we're looking at Winnipeg. I think Toronto could still be in the mix. I don't think Philadelphia is anymore. But there's a couple teams still in the running for Mattias Ekholm. I think Mikael Granlund will be traded. I think Erik Haula might be traded. I think that there is a good chance he does get dealt. I think that Philip Forsberg could be dealt. I know that's not a big one. I think that that's one that might not happen. But I think he can get dealt. If there's a team that for some reason wants the contract of Matt Duchene, you can expect him out of there. Like, I think that they are going to make some moves at the deadline this year, and I think that they are going to try and recoup assets. I don't even know if they're going to get draft picks specifically. I think you're going to see a lot of prospect getting. Like, I think that if, let's say he goes to Toronto, I'd say that it's probably going to have to be Liljegren plus minimum, but it might even have to be Sandin. That's how I see it. My voice is just completely going right now. Oh God, I'm feeling the strain, but I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, Nashville I see as a fire sale this year. Columbus, they're still fighting for that 4th spot. I don't think they're gonna sell. Unless they really fall off over the next couple of weeks, Columbus won't sell. Chicago, I think, is just going to use their cap space to the advantage because so many teams need to clear up cap. I think they will be the team that just, like, they'll do what Detroit did over the summer, and they'll just be like, hey, you have a bad contract, give it to me along with a pick, and you're out of cap problems for a bit. I think that that's really what it's going to be like. They're going to be just a bit of a circumvental team. Florida, this is shocking to me, and people are obviously talking about it, but I don't think they're talking about it enough. In my opinion, when I look at the entire league, it's them and Minnesota that are the biggest surprises for me, and I see Florida as more of a surprise. Hold on. Preds know they're going to be really busy on the phone next week. Lots of teams are going to demand so hard, and decisions are going to be tough on who gets Mikael Granlund. Mikael Granlund and Erik Haula are gone. Yeah, I think Haula, I think Granlund are both gone. I think Ekholm's gone. there, I think that there is a lesser chance of him getting dealt than Granlund and Holla, but I still think he's going to be gone. I I just think there's too many suitors. Like, there's going to be teams out there that offer you a ridiculous package of like a first round pick and a very, like, an almost elite level prospect. I think there's going to be deals out there where even Dave Poyle, I think that's his name, is just going to be like, I have to. I think that there's going to be a good enough deal for Ekholm where it's like, I have to do this deal. I think there's gonna be that situation. As I take a water break. Back to Florida because I was on them. With Florida, like I said, I think that they're the biggest surprise this year. Do they buy? I mean, do they? They could. They could buy. Maybe not. I haven't heard a ton about Florida. I would need to get informed on that because with Florida, I haven't really heard a ton of rumors. But I think that they might buy. They might not. I think Florida should buy. I think that, even if you don't win a cup this year, solidifying yourself as a really good team would be a smart idea for them. Carolina, they're doing Carolina things. They're playing very well. Very happy to see the Storm Surge is still surging. And it's also good to see that they have found that consistent success. We have a comment chat response. Blackhawks will get a bad contract back, but there's more teams than the Oilers who want a bad contract gone. Example, Vancouver, Louis Eriksson. Yep. They're going to have a lot of suitors. There's going to be a lot of teams out there who are like, you know what? We need to just clear some cap. Let's go to them. I think they're going to take on 1 or 2 contracts. I think that they'll at least take on 1, but they might take on 2. I think that they might take on 2 contracts. It really depends on what they think about their situation long term. Because we have to remember, next year, coming off LTIR, it's going to be a guy like Jonathan Toews. Unless he doesn't, which would be horrible. But yeah. Back to the Central Division, final team that I haven't talked about, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are at the top of the division. They're not going to make a move. I don't think there's any reason to. They obviously could. They could go out there. They could make a trade. I don't see the need. I think Tampa Bay are good enough. I think you might as well just go with it. So, yeah, in the Central Division, I see a lot of teams who could sell. And not a lot of teams, really, other than Carolina or Florida, I don't really see a team out there that's like, you know what, yeah, they're gonna buy. I don't see that. Then we get into the Honda West Division. And we get the Anaheim Ducks, who are bad. They should be sellers, but I don't think they have much to sell. That being said, boy, does their young core look good. Trevor Zegras looks good. Jamie Drysdale's look good. They got some good pieces. They've got some really good pieces. I'm interested to see where that team goes. San Jose. Sellers, but I don't know who you sell. Marcus Sorensen, probably. Do you trade Patrick Marleau again? do you do it again? Is that what we're doing? Do you trade him away again? I don't know. But I think that San Jose could make a move. LA might make a move. I don't know. Arizona. Who knows? St. Louis could add. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks in this division because it's kind of like there's the 4 good teams and then there's the 4 not as good teams, right? Obviously, in my opinion, probably the second biggest surprise behind Florida. I think Florida was the bigger surprise to me to be doing as good as they are. Minnesota, second best surprise. I don't think that they have a reason to add particularly, but who knows? Ducks and Tampa made a trade yesterday afternoon. Yes, I covered that off the top, if I'm not mistaken. Alexander Volkov heading over to Anaheim for Antoine Morand and a conditional 7th round pick. It's prospect swap with 7th round pick. Like, it's cool because these are the type of deals that kind of solidify, okay, we're in trade season, but I don't think it's going to be franchise changing. Knowing my luck, Antoine Morand is going to turn into like a third line god for the Tampa Bay Lightning because they can't put him into the top 6 because they already have a top 6 that's elite. But who knows? But when it comes to the West Division, like I said, I don't see a team here who I think is going to make a big move. Like, Vegas could pick up depth. Yeah. Colorado might look for a goalie. Yeah. Minnesota might look for something, but I don't think they will. St. Louis might add. Maybe. Arizona might trade someone. Maybe they'll finally trade one of their 2 really good goalies. Probably not. And then the Pacific Coast, they don't really have a lot to sell out there, so I don't know who buys. Like, the West Division's the quickest one, because there's not really much to talk about. Oh, man. My throat is just death right now. I'm going to do a quick check-in here on... Oh, Arizona might make some tweaks. Yeah, they could make some. They might make a couple trades. I don't know how major anything they do will be. I don't think that they're going to buy, like, any big names, though. I don't think that they're going to buy anyone big. Alright, quick end of this. Alright, we actually have other things to talk about as well. So we're going to go through all the games that are going on right now, just as a bit of a recap. Boston up 2-1 on the Islanders at the end of the second. Rangers up 6-2 on the Flyers at the end of the second. 3-2 lead for the Capitals over the Devils in the second. The Hurricanes beating the Blue Jackets 2-1. It's a 1-1 tie between Toronto and Ottawa. Buffalo down 2-0 to the Penguins. This is a big game for Buffalo because they are obviously currently on their horrible stretch. And their losing streak can extend tonight. Which, if it extends, delete the franchise if it extends. Like, I think at this point people are watching the Buffalo Sabres to watch them lose, to see how long it can continue to go. They are currently on it's a 7-game losing streak, however, that does not include overtime. I'm trying to find a game log here. Hold on. I think it's 15 that they're at right now, meaning they could hit 16 tonight. I don't think Kevin Adams is going to be the permanent coach, though, guys. I just don't think. Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres have not won in the month of March. They just haven't. 1, 2, 3, 4... Or, sorry, 1, 2, 3... Sorry, not including tonight. I have to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jeez. 13, 14, 15. They could lose their 16th straight game tonight. Some of these have been in overtime. I think 2 of them. There was a shootout loss to Philly and then an OT loss to New Jersey to start off the losing streak. They're eyeing up 14 regulation losses and 2 overtime losses in the past month of time. Which is never ideal. It's never ideal. Back to the checkup very quickly. Chicago and Florida 0-0 at the end of the first. The Preds beating the Red Wings 4-1 at the end of the first. Blues and Wild tied after 1 period, and the Lightning and the Dallas Stars 9 minutes 20 seconds left in the first. Nothing on the board for either. Whew. Wow, I've accomplished a lot tonight when it comes to streaming. I've done a lot. I've gotten through a lot of stuff I didn't think I'd be able to get to. I'm trying to think of what else there is to talk about. I know there's more out there. There's obviously more information. There's obviously more fun things to talk about hockey-wise. The last time the NHL team the last time an NHL team would breaking losing streak lost 18 games, and it broke with a winning OT against Coyotes. Yeah, I think the Sabres, to be fair, the Buffalo Sabres are dedicated to chasing history right now. They are dedicated to trying and getting their name in the history books. Maybe not in the way you want to, though. I don't think you want to go down in history books for being one of the worst teams of all time. And and the thing about this is, right? I'm not just saying this as like a lol Buffalo sucks thing. I'm not surprised. I'm not. I mean, look at the climate we're in, right? Look at the climate we're in, sorry. We're in a situation where it's a shortened schedule and all these games are really up close. When we think back to the last time we had a shortened schedule in a short amount of time, that was 2012, 2013, when we saw the Chicago Blackhawks go on that ridiculous run that they had, where I think they went 24 straight games without a regulation loss. We were bound to have a team that just went on a ridiculous streak of winning or losing just because of the situation we're in. I'm not really shocked. I didn't. It sucks Buffalo was the team because I did predict them to be in the playoffs at the beginning of the year confidently, but then we're gonna forget about that. We're gonna forget about that. That was embarrassing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a bit of game preview for tomorrow for Saturday night. That's what I'm gonna do. Because on Saturday night, we've got a hockey game in front of us. Because the Edmonton Oilers will go toe-to-toe with the Toronto Maple Leafs this Saturday night. Currently, they are tied with points. However, Edmonton has played 2 more games than Toronto. If Toronto wins tonight, which we're not guaranteed of, that will make Toronto 2 points ahead. And then there'll be a 2-game set with Edmonton and Toronto. This is gonna be interesting. I'm scared. I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared. Because, like, this is either going to make us happy or it's going to break our dreams again. It could go either way. We all remember what happened last time these 2 teams played. And it was traumatic. Very traumatic. Very, very pain-inducing. A form of torture, you may even say. I don't know who's going to be in net for Toronto during that game. Oh, we have another... First place versus first place. Correct. Unless Toronto wins tonight, in which case it's first place versus second place. And then if the Jets win tomorrow night, it's first place versus third place. But you know what? Who's keeping keeping count, right? The point is, Leafs Oilers on the weekend, and honestly, this is going to be a pivotal series, in my opinion. You know, it's going to be the last time Edmonton and Toronto play each other. Depending on how you feel on that, that's either a oh man or a thank God. You know, I don't know. I'm intrigued by this matchup. Winnipeg gotta lose tomorrow. Yeah, who are they playing tomorrow again? I forget. They're playing Calgary. Yep, Calgary need to win. We need to have a Calgary win. You know, honestly, it would really help us if Ottawa were to just kind of beat Toronto here. Yeah, it would be nice. Hey, Ottawa, do you mind doing that for me? Mind doing that? I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, obviously it's going to be the Battle of the Titans. I'm interested to see who starts in net for the Leafs, because obviously the starter now is Jack Campbell, which that's a story that's kind of went down. And, normally for any other team, it wouldn't be a big story, but we're in Canada, and that pretty much means we all live in Toronto. Even if we don't, we all hear about Toronto stuff more than a lot of other teams, especially for someone like me who is in Ontario. All I hear about is Leaf stuff, and I hate it, but it's the life I'm living. I love it, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I love it, maybe I don't. Who's to tell me I... Who's to tell me I don't? But yeah, it could be Freddy. It could be Jack. We'll have to really see who it ends up being. Well, who knows? Who knows? Alright. We are going into the third period of this game. I kind of want to stream through the third period because this is kind of an important game for the North Division in general, because if Ottawa can win, then that really helps out the Oilers, because that doesn't just keep the Leafs at 42 points tied. That also has them only have one game in hand, which would make it a lot easier and a lot better for many different reasons. So I think I am going to keep streaming through this game. I think I will. My voice is killing me, but I think I'm going to try and hang in. I'm going to try and hang in. And I'm going to see where this gets me. You know? And then I'm going to have tomorrow off. I don't think I'm going to do anything tomorrow. You know, I think a lot of the things I can make a video on, I'm not really going to say here. I hope Smith can outplay Campbell on Saturday. I hope so too. I mean, this is going to be big for Mike Smith, because the last time he played Toronto, he was not good enough. Hopefully he can be good enough this time. Like, he needs to be good enough this time. Like, I'm not even asking for, and I've said this all year about Mike Smith. Mike Smith has overperformed for what we thought he could be. Like, all I'm asking out of Mike Smith is just for a steady, reliable guy who doesn't allow more than 2 goals. Or 3 goals, you know? Like, just let the offense carry the game through, and then just play stable enough to give them a chance. Keep them in the game. Mike Smith's done more than keep him in the game. He has been the game sometimes. He has been the game sometimes in this series. Like, it's been ridiculous, the reliance sometimes on Mike Smith. So yeah, I don't plan on making any videos tomorrow. And then Saturday I'm going to make the reaction. And then I'm just going to kind of keep going from there. I would love to do a live stream on deadline day, but I kind of can't because it's a weekday. And, oh wait, hold on a minute. Hold on, folks. I just came to a realization about something. This might be groundbreaking. Let me check my calendar for a second. Let me pull up a calendar, because I think your boy may be streaming on NHL Trade Deadline Day. I've just realized that. No, not March. I want April. Okay, I'll use this. Okay, so if you guys, I've mentioned it before in the stream. I'm from Ontario. Our March break has been moved back to April. How coincidental is it that on the same day that the NHL trade deadline happens to be, I happen to have that entire week off? You know what that means? I'm confirming it now. 2021 NHL trade deadline live stream taking place then, and I'm probably going to schedule it right after the stream is done. I will mark it down in stone, because I for the past couple of years, I've stayed home and watched the coverage, and this year, while I still would have been able to stay home and watch the coverage, if the March break wasn't on, I would have online school, because I'm online for this year. So, confirming it now, NHL trade deadline stream is taking place Monday, April the 12th, 2021. It's going to be a thing. If Alex Stalock plays better than Koskinen, if that happens, then this might be Mikko's last time if Holland trades him in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll be honest. I'm not a Mikko Koskinen fan. I think I've made that kind of clear in my videos. Um, I'm rooting for Alex Stalock, not just because I want Mikko gone, because I kind of want Mikko gone. I think he makes a little bit too much money. I'm also rooting for Alex Stalock because he's trying to fight off COVID complications right now. You know, like he's trying to he had COVID and he's still trying to fight off complications from it. So I hope he can come back. It would be a great story if he could come back and play well. Um, and you know the thing about Alex Stalock is if he plays good, he also is on contract next year, which would be very good. But if Alex Stalock does play better, then I think Mikko Koskinen could very well be dealt in the offseason. Oh, I think it's Evgeny Dadonov with the breakaway. Oh, it's a stop. It's a stop. Imagine if Evgeny Dadonov scored the goal that made it a lead for the Sens. Leafs fans would cry. Do it. I want to see the Leafs fans' tears. I've been going for nearly 2 hours. I'm proud of myself for this. I've been going for nearly 2 hours. And I do plan to be on for the rest of the game for anyone new joining. Anyone new happens to pop in at this moment. Planning to continue being live for the next few minutes anyways. Or sorry, not next few minutes. For the rest of this Ottawa Toronto game. And yeah, don't forget April 12th. I'll be here during deadline day. And what I'll probably do is stream probably not the whole day because boy would that would be a little bit tiring for me. You can see I'm already going out after what, like only about an hour and 40 minutes. But I think the deadline's at 3 p.m. which I will look at right now. Trade deadline 2021. All and I'm looking 3 p.m. Yep, 3 p.m. So I probably will come on at like 12 in the afternoon, maybe 1ish. Some point in there, maybe 12:30 as compromise. I'll start streaming and start doing my thing, and then I'll be on until 3. Probably 3:30ish actually, to make sure I can talk about all the moves and be there for most of it. So expect it to be a timeline along those lines. Steve Dangle is the guy that has been crying all the time. Oh, I've seen Steve Dangle. I've seen Steve Dangle. I watched the game. I stayed up to watch the Zamboni Driver LFR, and boy was it my favorite thing ever. You could see the face go red as the screams continued. You could see it go red. Like, yeah. I do give him credit. Honestly, I hope I can do this for as long as he has. I don't know how he did it for as long as he did with such a bad team. The entire time, like, up until 2017, I think Steve Dangle was making videos for 10 years up to that point. He had watched the Leafs make the playoffs one time in those 10 years. 2 of them were, like, purely rebuild years where everyone knew that they were rebuild, but, like, the other 7 were years where the Leafs were supposed to try and contend. Like, with the moves they were making. They were signing players to try and be better. I give him major props. Plus, he in a way, like, he kind of opened up the game for other people to be able to do those type of videos where you react after every game and you talk about, like, he kind of opened the door to let that path in. He's kind of a pioneer in a way. Unless I'm forgetting about somebody, which I might be, but I'm fairly certain, like, he was the first big notable guy to do that. And so he's kind of a pioneer. He's a pioneer for what I'm doing right now in a way. Even though I do it like so much worse than he ever would. All right, it's 7-3. Oh no. Oh, Buffalo's losing 3-0. I don't think they can come back. I don't think he can come back. Boston always likes to make fun of him. Yep, they do. Boston always likes to make fun of him. I'm pretty sure there's a few other teams that make fun of him too. Hell, he even has like the Carolina Hurricanes who jokingly like they sent him shirts of like they sent him a shirt with David Ayers on the back of it. like yeah. Boston always hates him though. They just love to make fun of him because he's a Leafs fan. The Rangers are up 7-3 on the Flyers, man. It was Pavel Buchnevich's second of the game, and it came shorthanded. And 2 of the Flyers' goals tonight have came on the power play. Ah, ha, ha. Ooh, boy. What's Philadelphia's cap situation look like? Just as a interesting little factoid here. Talk to a team that beats the Leafs after 4-1 lead in 2013. Talk to making fun of the Leafs is my favorite pastime. It's something I like. I don't know if you can tell. I like making fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are still tied 1-1 with the notably good Ottawa Senators. The Philadelphia Flyers actually currently have cap space. Okay. Alright, so they have Claude Giroux on for 2 more years, Voracek on. They've got Couturier on that great contract. When it comes to guys expiring this year, they've got Raffle, Lawton, Sanheim, Erik Gustafsson. Erik Gustafsson, there it is. I wonder if the Flyers fall into the seller category after tonight's game. They have guys that they could sell. God. All right. Just trying to see if there's any other ground shaking things happening right now. Is this it for Vigneault? I'm reading a tweet from NHL Rumors Daily, and he says, "Is this it for Vigneault? I know it's my job to find that out, and I'm actively trying, but from what I gather, it doesn't seem like he's on the thinnest of ice. Surely tonight he has risen some eyebrows of those in the Flyers organization." I can see the Flyers firing Vigneault. Yeah. Just watching some of Steve's video right now. Yeah, I like to binge Steve Dangle's videos. I obviously like to find the ones where he where the team loses. Like I obviously do. There are 10 minutes left in this Toronto-Ottawa game, which I'm now paying more attention to. Interesting. I'm just reading an article on Twitter. Reading a quick little graphic. Alright. Another quick score check. Let's see. Was there another goal? Was there another goal for the Flyers? Let's see. Oh my god, they didn't score another goal. It's a miracle. It's a miracle the Rangers didn't score again. God, my voice is just dying right now. Alright. See you when you get back. Why Wayne Simmons jumped to the top line? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break for a couple minutes and just let my vocal cords take a moment to just go back into surface. Probably no more than a couple, but just take a moment here and just let this sort itself out. I'll be back in a moment. Break screen going up, and I will be back in a moment's time. Alright, that wasn't a long break, but it was just enough for me to clear my throat and take a minute. Back now. There are not a lot of moments left in this game. Let's see what takes place. This is a big game. Big boy game here. It's the Toronto versus the other team game. Oh, and the Leafs have scored. Oh my god, the Toronto Maple Leafs have actually scored. This is horrible. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It was Jason Spezza, ladies and gentlemen. Because apparently there's only one guy on the Toronto Maple Leafs that can score consistently nowadays, and it is Jason Spezza. 2021. Just a slap shot. Man, that beat him. Alright. I'm just looking to see if there's any other, stuff out there about possible trade rumors that could be interesting to suggest. Anyways. Let's just do a Google search and see what bad stuff comes up. Let's go to Fansided. 3 teams to watch as the trade deadline approaches. The Flyers, the Preds, and the Islanders. Yep, that's not really much of a surprise. Boo Leafs. Yep, I hate the Leafs. I hate them. I hate the Leafs. So I'm just reading through a couple articles here. One thing I'm seeing is that tagging on to the point made earlier about the Coyotes looking for a bit of a shakeup. Alex Goligoski is a guy that could be on the move. which, I mean, sure. I don't know what his value is, but if someone wants him, I don't see a reason why you don't go for him. Why you don't try and do it. If a team wants him that much, go for it. Oh, and my phone. My phone just decided, hey, you know what? Gonna start playing music during the live stream. Thank you for at least playing a Juice WRLD song. That's good. There we go. Alright. 8 minutes to go. Come on, Ottawa. We need you to score. Can't believe I'm like relying on the Ottawa Senators to do things to help us. Alright. Time ticking down in this game. Flyers might get Alex Goligoski. Yep, they could, but at the same time, if you're Philadelphia, why would you go, like, I understand Alex Goligoski getting traded. And if the I just don't know if the Flyers are good enough to be able to say, hey, we're going to make a trade for a veteran. I don't think they're good enough to do that. Yeah. Ottawa's tied the game. The Senators have tied it. That was not a long lead. It wasn't a long lead at all. Who was it? Who gets my praise and admiration? I think it was Alex Formenton. And it was... Oh, man. So Jack Campbell steps out of the crease a little too far again, like he did on the first goal. And it costs him. He didn't have the best positioning. And Alex Formenton, notably, if I'm not mistaken, one of the last Senators left from the infamous Uber penalty kill talk. If you don't remember that, that it was one of the it was just another moment in the pain of the Ottawa Senators. Alex Formenton scores. And just like that, this game is tied again. And I'm happy because Toronto is now losing, and that's what I like to see. And ooh, that's just not a good, yeah. But Alex Formenton maybe. And it was Ryan Dzingel that helped get involved there. Guy I notably think could be a nice addition at the deadline for a cheap price. Ken Holland, if you're listening, just you know, if you do it, make sure to give me my check, okay? Here we go. 6.5 minutes left. My voice has about as much drive as the Toronto Maple Leafs did when they lost 5-1 when they blew the 5-1 lead against Ottawa. Yeah, that joke came out good. That joke came out great. Let's see what happens. This is an interesting one. This is a barn burner. I'm actually going to see what Steve Dangle said on Twitter, because I'm interested. I think he said something. He had to. Ah, boy. He's a little upset, I think. Alright. 2 hours. My God. You know, I think that this was a success tonight. I'm just thinking back on what I wanted to do going into tonight, and I'm thinking about what happened. This was a success. This is what I wanted, you know? Chilled out, casual talk. We'll talk about the deadline a bit. We'll talk about the Oilers a bit. We'll talk about the Sabres. We'll talk about a couple other things. Oh, what the... Oh, what? Oh, just kidding. Oh, Buffalo did not tie the game. Okay. You actually got me. Oh, no. I can't be taken seriously when I let myself get gotten like that. No. They are still down 3-0. As they should be, because know your place trash. I feel bad for Buffalo Sabres fans. I feel bad for Buffalo Sabres fans. I do. Because, like, come on. They've been so bad for so long. And then the Pagulas just keep stomping on their dreams. You know, like, you'll look at them. One of the notable things about the financial side, anyways, of the organization is that Pagulas are in charge. Like, I can't remember. I watched a video from Urinating Tree, the YouTube channel. He made a video on Buffalo sports teams, the Sabres and the Bills. And I can't remember what the position is specifically, but Kim Pegula works for the Sabres. She's in the organization and is a part of it. That's not, she doesn't know much about hockey operations, I don't think. I don't think she's a hockey operations person. But she's in a position where she's doing hockey operations. We are in the home stretch. You know what I'm going to do? I have to turn it down. So I don't get copyright. I'm going to turn audio on for the game. I want to hear what the commentators have to say about these two teams. One team that's supposed to be really good, but just can't seem to put together. The other one that's not good, just not a good team, but they can do things. Hold on, just 1 second. I'm gonna stay mic on, but I'm gonna just get something quickly. I'm back. 4:53 left. This is kind of went from talking about other things to just focusing on this game, but I think that's a good idea to focus on this game with its importance. Let's go. You know what? I'm gonna try and do some poor quality color commentating here because it's poor quality, but I'm gonna at least try and say what's going on. Matthews wide. Brody gets it at the point. Down it goes. I think it's Brady Tkachuk with the puck. He sends it up. Norris holds it for a minute. Now to Tkachuk. He's driving into the zone. Backhand, Campbell save. Am I doing a good job at commentary? Probably not. Oh, Morgan Rielly. Nope. Just shoved out of the way. Drake Bauthus nearly had a break. He nearly had a break there to be able to do the thing. Do the unspoken thing. The puck in front. Oh, boy. Toronto are coming a little too close. Ottawa turnover. It's Galchenyuk. Shot. Save. Okay. He wasn't making that. .350. The time is ticking down rapidly, and there's a good chance that this game's going to go to overtime because, of course, I'm reacting. It's going to go to overtime. I'm watching it, so it's going to go to overtime. That shot's wide. Covered up. Sabres are moments away from entering Game 16. I feel like that SpongeBob meme where it's just like, 16! Do we have 16? How about 17? Just the auctioneer clip of Mr. Krabs going mad. It's just sitting there. Like, God, Buffalo Sabres Twitter page is so funny. Because on every single one of their tweets where something bad happens, it's just like, oh God. Oh, and yep, you're right. Pittsburgh's up 4-0. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. 4-0. It's done. Buffalo have buffaloed. By the way, they're also about to get shut out. Which... Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure if they get shut out tonight, they will pass their amount of wins with the amount of times they've been shut out. Ooh, Norris was a little wide. I think they're at least going to be shut out for the 5th. I think they're getting shut out for the 7th time this season. I'm pretty sure, and it's the 5th time. They're about to be shut out for the 5th time on this losing streak. They've won 6 games. That's how bad the Buffalo Sabres are. The Buffalo Sabres are horrible. Icing took him by the Sens, I think, and I think that means we're about to see a draw in the Sens zone. But yeah, Buffalo are another level of bad. It's horrific. Like, honestly, it's getting to the point where it can be considered child abuse, making your kid watch the Buffalo Sabres. It's getting that bad. Toronto have 65 shot attempts, and they've only beaten, and 37 shots, they've only beaten Anton Forsberg twice. Goddamn. A minute and 10 seconds to go. I think this game is going to go to overtime. Because why not? That's what Toronto needs. Another overtime game against Ottawa because the last one went so well. Campbell with the save. Tried to swat at it. There's a couple Sens trapped. It's Hyman up the boards. He's joined by Muzzin. He can't get it over. Batherson chips it out. Nylander gets it. He goes into the Sens zone. He nearly gets knocked out. He's in with Tavares. Hyman over on the other side. Forsberg with the puck. Now, Nylander shot in front. Doesn't go. Hyman gets it around, but Connor Brown ends up getting it. Brady Tkachuk trying to cut off one defender. He successfully does momentarily. Shot. It goes and just goes off a body in front. 20 seconds. Overtime or not. What is it going to happen? Let's see. Zub gets it there. Okay, and we're going to overtime. We're going to overtime. Toronto and Ottawa going back to overtime. Not something you want to hear. The losing streak for the Buffalo Sabres has continued. They have lost 16 games straight. Ow. Overtime. We all know what happened last time. "16 losses for the Sabres. Let's read the Twitter responses to Buffalo's page. Someone has already made a meme out of the graphic they said earlier announcing the coaches are self-isolating. We at the Buffalo Sabres apologize for wasting 3 hours of your lives tonight. To make it up to you all, we are proud to announce that will be selecting 10 lucky fans to win their choice between a reverse retro Dominic Hasek, which is spelt wrong, jersey, or a virtual tour of the upcoming Pegula Super Yacht. A virtual tour of a yacht. I love the internet. I love the internet. I love it. All right. Overtime, baby. What's going to happen? Here we go. It's time for overtime. Matthews. Marner. I think, who else is out there? Can't see that guy. I think it's Riley. They're controlling the puck, but they can't get anything off at the moment. Stop. Oh, stop. Oh, Forsberg didn't have it. Marner tried to throw. He couldn't throw it. Oh, boy. The Sens got it. All you need is a little bit of Evgeny Dadonov. Come on. Come on, Leafs. You can blow it. There's still time. Shabbat enters the zone, takes a shot. It goes into space. Into outer space. What's going to happen here? Justin Hall throws it over to Nylander. Nylander carries it up. He's doing a bit of deking. Nylander tries to make it around. Oh, almost does. Almost does. Forsberg with the save. Anton Forsberg is about to carry the Ottawa Senators to a win. He is. I think he is. It could happen. What are the Leafs going to do? What are the Sens going to do? Come on, Ottawa. Come on, Ottawa. Do the thing. Help everyone. The Rangers have now scored 8 goals. Can they hit 9 again? They have a minute left. Can they hit 9 again? It was Laffy Taffy who scored. It was Laffy Taffy who scored the 8th goal. Ottawa with the puck. Thomas Chabot carries it through, drops it back. Ryan Dzingel, he's in. Oh, he almost got a nice little break, but he could not pull it off. And thus the puck goes down. Offside. Offside. God, please don't go to a shootout. Boy. So, I'm just going to mention here, at the end because I have a feeling that we're going to be ending in some fashion momentarily. I don't have any other videos planned this week, either than the one that's set to go down at the end of the week for the Toronto game. That reaction is going to be a video this week. And the only other video I think that I got, or the only other thing I think I got on the docket long term, other than just game reactions, is the trade deadline, which is upcoming. I'm going to be live streaming from 12 through 3, or 12:30 through 3 on that day to talk about everything that happens. So make sure you tune out for that. Come on out, see my live reactions to what goes down. Kerfoot gets the shot. He couldn't get it. No one could get it. The Leafs couldn't bury it. They're caught lacking. It's a 2-on-1. Thomas Chabot gets it over. He couldn't bury it. Oh my God. And it's out of the zone. Wow. What a moment there. Chabot leaves it. Brady tries to move around. Brady can't. Chabot chips it down. I can't even see who that is. I want to say it's... I can't even tell who that name is because of these jerseys. Tkachuk, oh, he tries to get over the mystery man. I think it's Tim Stützle over there, but he couldn't. Nylander goes back. Looks like he almost gets trapped. Tkachuk on him relentlessly like a dog. He gets flipped over. And now it's a 2-on-1. It's Tavares and Nylander. They're going in with poise. They allow the Sens to catch up. Nylander, shot, backhand, nothing. Oh, it goes behind, but it doesn't go in, and Forsberg makes the save. Oh my goodness. This is an overtime, folks. This is happening. This is happening. They had Galchenyuk out there during the overtime for the Leafs, and Kerfoot, beautiful chance, but he just couldn't bury it. And then 2-on-1 for the Sens. They couldn't bury it either. I think it's Matthews, Marner, Riley. That's the unit out for the Leafs right now. Can the Sens hold them off? Batherson's out there. I think Nick Paul is out there, and they got a defender out there. They can't, and the puck exits the zone. That's good for the Ottawa Senators. Morgan Riley. He's in. He gets puck stripped. Nick Paul to Batherson. Batherson tries to look. Oh, he tries to hit Nick Paul, but he just can't control the pass. It's a little too strong. Nick Paul grinding away with the puck. He tries to deke out and nearly dekes out Austin Matthews. 43 seconds left. Are we going to see a last-minute goal for the Leafs here? Morgan Riley in. Morgan's going to throw it up. Matthews is going to walk in. He's going to walk around. He's going to try and wrap it. Oh, he can't. Tried to get it to someone. He couldn't. Chabot. Stretch pass off Matthews. Matthews keeps it. Matthews. Shot lined up. He goes around. How did he not score? Scored. It's Justin Holl. Damn it. Ah, damn it. Anton Forsberg bit a little too much of that wraparound and subsequent play, and Justin Holl was left open by the defense, and Forsberg couldn't get back. What a ridiculous save if he would have been able to make it, but it's an overtime loss, so the Sens still fight down to the last drop of blood they have, but they can't beat them. That sucks for us. Austin Matthews has the puck go off of him, walks in, nice little deke around, but he can't do it. It goes down below, and the Marner finds Holl, and Holl just snipes it in. And it's a Justin Holl goal. And the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Ottawa Senators. I'm going to sign off for tonight, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Had a great time. Saturday night, we'll react to the Leafs-Oilers game. And then trade deadline video also approaching fairly soon. And boy, Pierre Dorion just threw a drink in anger. That's not good. That's going to be expensive to clean up. All right, thank you everyone for showing up. I will see you all on Saturday. All right, make sure you watch the video on Saturday. Leafs-Oilers reaction game reaction, post-game. Thank you all. Bye for now.